What's up, my fellow Librans, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and basically I'm just another spiritual ass bitch here on the internet doing tarot and astrology videos like this one. So if that's your vibe, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave this video a like and a comment before you leave if you do end up liking this video. I'm a fellow Libra, in case you didn't know, so welcome. And yeah, we love Libra energy over here. So Libra, let's get into it. This is your forecast for August 2020, your tarot and astrology. This is a very turbulent time for Libras, man, and all cardinal signs really, but it's a turbulent time. And I see that in your reading. There's a lot of where are you going? Where are you going? Where's the destination point? What's the vision here? Like what am I supposed to be doing? Where am I supposed to be going? It seems like things are just kind of all over the place or getting thrown around in some way in some area of your life, or maybe in many areas of your life. I know as a Libra sun myself that things are pretty turbulent, and that's a huge question that has been very prominent in my life as of recently. So there's kind of this element though in this uncertainty and in this wildness of this fiery wild side of you that is appearing, this side of you that isn't constantly trying to balance things out or constantly trying to keep the peace and to please everybody else. There's kind of this is kind of pushing you out of your comfort zone in so many ways, Libra, and I think you're going to grow a lot from this. I think all Libras are going to grow a tremendous amount from the energies that are happening around us, like especially the last couple of months and into August and even until the rest of the year, honestly. But I think that there is, I'm just looking at some of my astrology notes here, but what I was really channeling for you guys is that there's this need for freedom, this need for individuality. And a lot of you guys are waking up to things that are no longer working in your life and haven't been working for a long time, I think. So you may be going a little crazy, a little batshit. And I'm here to tell you that that is perfectly okay. So don't let anybody tell you that it's not. It is okay to lose your shit right now. Like, it completely is. And I kind of like it. The energy is kind of like, I don't give a fuck, I give zero fucks right now, and we're just gonna let our hair down and we're just gonna go a little crazy, in a way that people don't normally see Libras, because Libras, they're the scales, right? They're the balance, so they can be one or the other, but most of the time they try to spend it in the middle. Well, this energy and this month and the last few months has really knocked us off that balance, and although it can be very scary and it's not a place that we necessarily like to be or necessarily want to be, it is kind of cornering us to go with the flow and enjoy it as much as we possibly can, because by the end of it, we are going to be completely different people. I mean, this is like a time that's going to be very significant in our lives for very, very, very many reasons. This is a time of a new direction, changing direction. We may have a lot of people recently like really demanding and expecting certain things of us. And I think it's pushing us to change. It's pushing us to not really go with what other people want for us all the time, and to go with our hearts, and to go with the path that is going to be the path that gives us the most individuality and freedom. And I also think that a lot of us out there right now could have almost like a fear of success in a way. We could be facing maybe a lot of criticism either from ourselves or from others, or just feeling held back, or like we can't do what we want to do for ourselves in some way. But it's just a lot of big changes with all this cardinal energy. Our foundations and our structures are being shaken up and put under a lot of pressure right now to push us out of our comfort zones and out into the world in a new way, and to push us in a new direction, down a new path that is going to be more aligned with who we are, even if it doesn't seem like it at first. So kind of like any difficulty or responsibility or heaviness, with family or relationships, or with a certain family member or a significant other or home life, could be coming to the surface, ancestral karma, or feeling lack in the home, in the family, or distance could be really kind of pushing us. Ending some kind of cycle, in the next like 5 months with home and family, parents, and our foundations is really also happening right now. And yeah, just dealing with maybe a difficult or authoritarian person or family member. Like I said, just really this is about setting major boundaries for yourself. This is about major changes, major realizations, major new beginnings in career, path, purpose, reputation, success, achievements, what we want out in the world, what we truly emotionally want. Maybe breaking karmic family cycles, possibly moving or securing a more solid foundation, home, or environment for ourselves. This is also very much about growing up and maturing because Saturn is involved very heavily again in a place for us that is about home and family. And finding a balance between maybe what your family expects versus what society expects, and maybe also what you want to do out in the world and what your place in the world is, and instead of listening to everybody else, if that makes sense. And really coming to terms with not being the person everybody expects you to be, I think is a big thing here. And I see you really having major breakthroughs with that in the month of August. Like, this reading is insane. Libras will not be the same after this year, I can guarantee that. So for your oracle cards, we have the card of Eternal Dance. It says movement, wheel of life, path of least resistance. So this is really about, what I'm getting is, like I was kind of saying, and you do actually have the Wheel of Fortune in your reading as well. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown aspects that are happening right now. It's very hard to see a clear vision of where you're going or what you want or where you're going to end up right now. And that can be very scary. It can just feel like you're on that wheel, just constantly moving, constantly turning, and it can just feel very scary, like nothing is really grounded or stable, like you don't have an anchor right now. And that is completely 100% okay. And once you're able to accept this energy instead of resisting it or fighting it or trying to control things or trying to, make things exactly how you want them to be or to make things slow down, then and only then, once you accept it instead of fight it and surrender to it and be a part of it, make space for it within you, then you can move with it instead of against it. And then and only then can you start feeling more centered, more anchored, because all of the things spinning around you, the tornado that's spinning around you, Libra, or the uncertainty that's around you in some aspect or area of your life, will then not feel as crushing or restricting or scary, because you will be in the flow with it and you'll be making space for it and you're allowing it to be there instead of trying to push against it constantly. And then you can move into this dance with it instead of constantly beating your head up against the brick wall, wanting it to move, thinking that that's going to make it move. So once you can get into that flow and accept the tornado in your life right now, then you can flow with it. And then where it will drop you off, where you will end up, will be something beautiful that you couldn't have seen and that you couldn't have even imagined, So that is what I'm getting from that card. Now we also have the card of loss, grief, sadness, and resurrection. So that does tell me that some of you guys have certain things falling away in your life right now, whether it's a relationship, a job, a home, whatever the case may be, in order to make space for this whole new direction that you're about to go down. And I know it can be so scary. It can be so just literally paralyzing at times, and because I've been going through a lot of change in my life too, so I get it. Things that I just did not even see coming, things that I didn't necessarily want, but like I was telling Leo this as well, it's like deep down you know that you need it. You know it's going to be the path that's going to liberate you the most, even though it's the scariest path to take. And even though it's not necessarily what you had in mind or what you may have wanted for your path or your future, your journey, but here we are, So anyways, that's what I'm getting. We also had a card fall out in the pre-shuffle when I was basically shuffling for your month of August, which is the Three of Wands. And I think that really sums up your whole reading perfectly, honestly, and we'll get to why. But this is very much about where am I going? What direction am I going in? You know, and really looking ahead. I also was getting maybe planning for something or trying to plan for something, but it can be so unknown and so hard because you don't have the full picture just yet. But you'll get there. Don't worry. Just try to allow the energy to move through you instead of trying to control it right off the bat. Because once you allow it to be there, once you give it permission to be there and to let it move you, then you can channel that energy and you can control that energy in a certain way. But you have to first, surrender to it. You have to first let it become a part of you, and then you will be able to open your eyes to things that you couldn't see until you did that, if that makes sense. So anyways, so the first part of your month is very interesting. It does look a little bit chaotic. It does look like there may be some challenges, delays, setbacks, even some disagreements or misunderstandings with people. We start off with the Four of Swords and the Eight of Wands reversed. So this very much tells me that you've hit like a halt with something, that there's something that's not moving as quick as you thought. There's something that's been kind of still, or there's something that is being delayed here in some way or blocked here in some way in the beginning of your month of August here. So and this is very much about with that Four of Swords upright, the Eight of Wands reversed. No matter what's happening externally to you, remember to center yourself. Remember to center yourself, to center your mind. So meditation, making sure you're getting plenty of rest, making sure you're doing things that really get you out of your head can really help with this. Now, we then also have the Seven of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. So Libra, this is definitely some kind of, with the Ten of Pentacles here, this is definitely some kind of achievement, idea of success, or even like a certain chapter of your life that you had built, that you were proud of maybe, that you had succeeded in, or some kind of structure, foundation, part of your life, whether it was a relationship, home, family, whatever, job, that you had succeeded in or that you had achieved, that you had built, but something is happening here with this. And this could also be another, like a new vision that you have for something as well. Because before that, we have the Seven of Wands and the Five of Wands. So this is, the Seven of Wands, what I see in this particular card in this deck, is definitely about a journey. We have a little person over here, and then a mountain or pyramid or something right there. So, and she's all the way over there, and there's snow and all of this, and it almost seems like impossible. So there's something here that may seem impossible, or may seem like the odds are against you in some way in the beginning of the month, like you're not reaching that specific point that you really want to reach to get to this Ten of Pentacles. And then we also have the Five of Wands. So once again, there could be things that are hindering you or that are blocking you, that are delaying your path to something that you're trying to go after, which has something to do with, once again, stability, trying to build some new structure, trying to keep an old structure in your life, an old, something that you've built before, or something that you're looking to build in the future. So there definitely seems to be a lot of possible setbacks or delays in that first part of August, but it won't be like that for the whole month. So please remember that. So even if there are certain setbacks and delays, this is telling me that you have the fight in you with that Five of Wands there to still get through it. So accepting and surrendering with the Four of Swords here to the external circumstances and bringing it back to yourself will give you more power, like I was saying in the beginning, not getting carried away and focusing on everything going wrong, and instead focusing on the strength and the power that resides within you, and finding that strength and power by facing things instead of fighting them or resisting them or trying to run away from them or ignoring them, whatever the case may be. So moving on to the mid part of your month, we start off with the Four of Wands and the Ten of Swords. So once again, this tells me that it does appear to be some kind of ending happening here, where you make it across the finish line, and it may be an ending that ends up happening on good terms with the Four of Wands here, or an ending of something happening within the family or within a relationship or within the home life in some area in some way. But there definitely is some kind of ending where it's like it's not getting you anywhere. And for some of you, this could be something internal where you finally realize that your thoughts are not helping you in this situation, not resisting your thoughts and resisting and fighting against your thoughts and fighting against these external influences are not helping you. And so you need to be able to come together to make space for these things, to reconcile the opposites, to harmonize the opposites, instead of having them opposing each other and fighting each other, whether it's within yourself or whether it's your internal versus your external. Whatever it is, there needs to be some kind of coming together here in a peaceful, harmonious way, which then will give you the power with the Six of Swords here to be able to ride and dance with this Wheel of Fortune. So by mid-month, you're starting to realize that you are a lot more powerful than you think you are, and that the power resides within you. And you're starting to realize all the different places that you're able to go down. You're starting to allow yourself to go on this journey, because in the typical Six of Wands, it's a guy that is kind of helping two people in a boat to go somewhere, to get to, calmer waters, basically. And this wheel is going to help you do that. But first, you have to face the upheaval with that Ten of Swords, Four of Wands, and all of the other cards we went over. First, you have to get through those upheavals, those delays, those setbacks, those frustrations, to be able to awaken to the journey that you're about to go on, and how powerful you really are and how much you really can do this. So there definitely is some kind of twist or change of direction coming in the middle of the month here for you guys, that's putting you on like a different course, a different path that you didn't necessarily see coming, but that I think is going to be tremendously liberating for you, and basically even be like a catalyst for a huge awakening for you. So moving on from that, so to end your month, we actually have the Lovers and the Eight of Cups. This reading is actually very similar to Leo, so if you have a Leo moon or rising or a lot of Leo energy in your chart, I would possibly go watch that one as well. But anyways, we have the Lovers and the Eight of Cups here. So this tells me that for some of you, you guys are releasing an attachment at the end of the month. You're finally detaching from something in a very healthy way, though. And it could be a person, because we do have the King of Pentacles here. It could be some kind of idea that you had for your life. It could be a dream, a job, something along those lines, a family member or a family dynamic, a pattern, something along those lines. But there's something here where you're finally walking away from some kind of attachment, because you're like, I need more, I want more. Now, for a very select few of you, this could be a love triangle thing. Maybe not all of you, but for a select few of you. But you're making a choice to go after more in your life, to go after the success and the stability that you want in your life. You're finally like shedding a lot of fears that you've had with it, and you're going after what it is that you want. And also, I also see here that this could also be some kind of amends, or something that happens with someone in your life, where someone maybe where someone comes back into your life to give you some kind of amends, or to emotionally support you in some way, with this Ace of Cups coming after the Lovers, the Eight of Cups, and the King of Pentacles here. So there's definitely this sense of wanting more, of going in this new direction to get more and to fulfill some kind of new emotional desire, some kind of new emotional need or want that you have. And then we end with the Two of Wands, which is crazy because remember that Three of Wands in the very beginning that came out. So we then end with the Two of Wands, and she's got the world in her hands. So you're at that point where you're like, okay, I have to make this decision. I have to make this choice. What do I want? What am I going to go forward with? And what am I going to leave behind? And that's where I think this loss comes in. Because although there is something that does seem that it is falling away, some kind of stability, something that you maybe once built or once had hopes for is now falling away, there will be a sense of resurrection from all of this, a sense of major transformations and upgrades and liberations that you couldn't even imagine. And this is where, with this Two of Wands and Three of Wands, you finally start making your new vision for your life and what it is that you truly want and desire on this new journey that you're going through. So, beautiful freaking reading, Libra. Let me know if I've gotten anywhere close down below. So let's go ahead and go over the rest of your astrology here, and then we'll be done. So Mars is in Aries now, which is your opposite sign. So this is going to oppose this is going to be opposite for us. So it's going to oppose us. So this is going to really bring out any kind of repressed passion, motivation, desire, anger, assertion, aggression within us. And that's why I said there's kind of like a fiery sense to the energy right now for Libras because of that Mars. And so if you are not expressing this energy, what will happen is it will end up being expressed externally. So basically, people in your life, the significant people in your life, may start taking their shit out on you. They may start projecting their stuff on you. They may start trying to argue with you all the time, or being very feisty, or just aggressive, or debating with you, or whatever. It may cause some tension in your significant relationships in life, or some confrontation, some competition. So you do want to watch out for that, but it's really trying to pull that energy out of you to stand up for yourself, to defend yourself a little bit more. And I kind of see you doing that here. It's also really pulling out any tension with relationships or within your living situation, because Mars is going to be aspecting all that stuff in Capricorn. So this is kind of putting you in a position to change and to accept the more independent part of you, to accept the more fiery, assertive part of you, and to allow that part to come forward. Although it may make your relations with other people a little bit more intense or stressed, restless, busy, or assertive in certain situations, or even demanding. But this is putting you in a position to really start accepting that more independent, more decisive part of you, Libra, because it is in there. So just be careful rushing into things like contracts, agreements, commitments. This is kind of pushing you to be a little bit more brave and but also act with integrity and not impulsivity, if that makes sense. So, but this definitely could bring up a lot of changes in your significant relationships in life, and also sexuality themes, and themes of what you desire, and changes or issues within your sexuality to be addressed, all of that kind of stuff. So on August 3rd, we have an Aquarius full moon, which is happening in a place for you that is all about romance, children, pleasure, your passions, your hobbies, what you like to do for fun, dating, all of this kind of stuff. But it's going to be squaring the planet Uranus and Taurus, and Saturn is going to be opposite Mercury at that time as well. So basically what I think is going to happen here for Libra is that everything is going to be kind of coming to a head from like the last couple months or even couple years with this full moon. This may feel like you're torn or being pulled in opposite directions. If you've been feeling lost or unsure about yourself, this full moon is really highlighting your own individual needs, wants, pleasures, and desires versus the expectations, and desires of others in your life, or of how you feel like you may need to repress those individual expressions to fit in to the larger collective. So if you have children or family responsibilities, you may be torn between that and your place in the world. This could also be some kind of verbal ending or criticism or perceived failure or blockage that happens. This could also be something that kind of comes to the surface with a debt, a bill that needs to be paid, or something along those lines, or something with your partner's finances. This could also be a kind of like reality check moment, with your home and family versus your career life and your path. And also maybe it could bring up friendships as well. So with Venus in a spot for you that is all about career after August 7th, it moves into your career house on August 7th. So you'll be finding your worth, values, talents, and needs when it comes to your career, your purpose. And like I said, that's kind of when, towards mid to end of month, you start really knowing what it is that you want and very clear about what it is that you need and want, your place in the world, and what you want to do with, what you want to build, what you want to build, what your vision is, all of that. So that definitely does make sense. Uranus is going retrograde on the 15th. So for you, Libra, this is going to be about needing to break free and have some kind of liberation or freedom from debts or financial obligations, joint finances with someone else, or joint resources with someone else. So you're definitely going to be really working on those things for the next several months as well. So on the 18th, we have a new moon in the sign of Leo, which for you, Libra, is going to be all about networking, maybe getting noticed for your skills or something that you've done. Maybe, working on a bigger vision for the collective or for something that feels very purposeful for you. Also using your skills or wisdom to help other people, and possibly even challenges between relationships, commitments versus your home life could come up around this time as well. That could be a little bit in the background, but you're going to be mainly focused on what it is that you want to do out in the world, how you want to express your own creative ideas and talents out into the world, and how you like your place in the world, your purpose in the world, and all of that. So that is what I see coming up this month for you guys, Libra. Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know down below if this resonated, and if not, make sure to go watch your other signs as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this and supporting the channel. I truly appreciate it. If you would like to support me more, or if you would like to get any other content or services, readings, whatever from me, just check the description below. I offer readings and services on my website. I also do exclusive content over on Patreon. I have a bunch of different memberships that you can sign up for. They're just monthly memberships, so you only pay once a month. And yeah, I will see you guys in my other videos. Bye.